Assalamualaikum to all. In this video, we are going to learn the polynomials, that is the second chapter of class 9 mathematics. And before going into the details or whatever we are going to study in this topic, polynomial, we'll just recall the things that we have learned in the lower classes. We have algebraic expression, terms, and polynomial. Now these are three important terms that we are going to recall, since we have come across the algebraic expression in class 8, terms in class 7, and polynomial in class 8. Now first one is the algebraic expression. What is an algebraic expression? An expression that contains numbers, operations, and one or more variables. Now here we are talking about three things, that is number, operations, and variables. Now what are numbers? Since we have learned about the numbers in our previous chapter, now the numbers are 1, 2.2, 2 by 3, etc. You can take any number in the group real numbers. And what are the operations here? Now these operations means the mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now next, third thing is variable. What are the variables? For the variables, you can take any alphabet from A to Z. From A to, we have 26 alphabet, isn't it? So you can take any alphabet from A to Z. And the most popular variable that we use in mathematics are X, Y, and Z. Okay, let's take an example. For example, that is 3x squared plus root 3x. Now this expression, it can be written as 3 into x squared plus root 3 into x. Since multiplication is implied in algebra, so we usually don't write multiplication sign between a number and the coefficient. So here we have 3 and root 3 as a number, and we have multiplication, addition, and multiplication, they are operations, and we have x and x as a variable. Now here we have only one variable, that is only x. Now this is an algebraic expression in one variable. Let's take another example, that is 7x squared minus 2 by 3y. Now again this can be expanded as 7 into, since multiplication is implied, 7 into x squared minus 2 by 7 into y. Again here we have 7 whole number, 2 by 7 is a rational number, so it is a number, and then we have multiplication, subtraction, and this line indicate a division sign. So therefore we have a division, and then again we have a multiplication. These are operations or the mathematical operations. And we have x and y as a variables. Since there is two different alphabet, that is x and y, this is an algebraic expression in two variables. Okay, now we'll do some simple examples. In the first column, I'll write the expression, and in the second column, that is, you have to check whether the given expression in the first column are algebraic expression or not. If not, then we have to write remarks over here. Okay, let's take the first example, that is 3x minus 4y. While discussing about the algebraic expression, we have I've mentioned three important things, that are numbers, operations, and variables. These three things are very important in algebraic expression. So we'll check one by one. 3 and 4 are numbers. We have operation subtraction, and between 3 and x we have multiplication sign. Similarly, between 4 and y we have a multiplication sign. We have operations, and then we have variable x and y. Since there is two variables, so this is an algebraic expression in two variables. Therefore, it is an algebraic expression. In the second example, that is 6 plus 7y equals 0. We have a numbers 6, 7, and 0. We have operations, addition. There's a multiplication between 7 and y, and we have variable y. All the three conditions are satisfied, but Here we have an equal to sign. An algebraic expression does not have an equal to sign. Algebraic equation has an equal to sign. Therefore, it is not an algebraic expression, but it is a algebraic equation. Okay, let's move on to third example. That is 4y minus 1 by x. Again, we have number 4 and 1. And we have operations between 4 and y. We have multiplication sign and we have subtraction. And then between 1 and x, there is a division. So we have operations and we have variable y and x. Again, there is a two variable. So it is an algebraic expression. Okay, next one. 3x plus tw. Now here we have numbers 3 and we have operation, there is an addition, and between 3 and x there is a multiplication sign, and between t and w again there is a multiplication. So it is a algebraic expression. Let's move on to the last example, that is a cube plus 3abc equals minus 2. Now here we have a number 3 and minus 2 and we have operation addition and there is a multiplication between 3 and a and b and c, and we have variable a, b and c. Now here we have three different variables, a, b and c. So it is an expression, but it is not an algebraic expression because it is a algebraic equation since there is a equal to sign. Okay, now this is what we have learned about the algebraic expression, and you should be able to differentiate between the algebraic expression and algebraic equation. Now the next one, we will move on to the term. Now the term, it consists of two different parts. We have a number part denoted as n and we have a variable part denoted as v. So we can define term as, term is a mathematical expression that are made up of two different parts, that are number part and variable part. And between the number part and variable part, there is a multiplication sign. Since the multiplication is implied in algebra, so we normally write them together. That is n into v, and between n and v, there is a multiplication sign. So this is a one term. And the number part of the term is called coefficient, and the variable part can have one or more variables in term. For example, if I say 3abc, it is a term and there is a three variable, that is a, b and c. Now variable part can be of one or more variable which is raised to the power of a whole number. Now here it is very important that the power of the variable should be whole number. Now whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on to infinity. We can go on. But so in turn, the power of the variable should be whole number. Let's take few examples. For example, we have number part 1 minus 1.5 root 3 2 by 3. Now you can take any real number here. Just a few examples. There's lots more you can take. And we'll take variable part as x square, xy, abc square and t raised to the power 4. You can take any alphabet, but the most popular one is r, x, y and z. So we usually, there's a multiplication sign between number part and the variable part. Since the multiplication is implied in algebra, we don't write the multiplication sign and we write the number and the variable part next to each other. So this can be written as 1x square and minus 1.5xy root 3 abc square 2 by 7 t raised to the power 4. Now this is a term, this is a term and this is a term and this is also a term. Each one is a term. Now why it is term? Because here the variable part is raised to the power of a 2 and 2 is a whole number. Therefore this whole expression is a term. And minus 1.5xy, again here the power of the variable x is 1 and y is also 1 and 1 is a whole number, therefore it is a term. Similarly, root 3abc square, power of the a is 1, power of the b is 1, and power of the c is 2, and 1 and 2 are whole numbers, therefore it is a term. And 2 by 7 is a number, here t raised to the power 4, again 4 is a whole number, therefore 2 by 7 t raised to the power 4 is a term. Okay, now the polynomial. In this chapter or in class 9, what we are going to learn is, we are going to learn or meaning of the polynomial and the polynomial in one variable, and then we'll learn about the classification of polynomial on the basis of number of terms and the degree of the polynomial. And after that we are going to learn the zeros of the polynomial, and here we'll learn the meaning of zeros of the polynomial and how to find zeros of the given polynomial. And then we are going to learn remainder theorem and factor theorem. Under the factor theorem, we'll learn about the factorization of the polynomial, and we have splitting the middle term of term for quadratic polynomial, or these are the methods for factorizing and method to factorize factorization. Sorry, here I make a mistake here. Method of factorization of cubic polynomial, that we are going to discuss, and we are going to learn few more algebraic identities. In class 8, we have learned 4 algebraic identities. Now here again we'll learn 4 more algebraic identities. Now the first topic, that is polynomial. And polynomial itself has two names, that is, or two terms, poly and nomials. Now this polynomial, we can divide it into two names, that is poly and nomials. Now the word poly means many and nomial means terms. So it means many terms. Now we can define polynomial as an algebraic expression in which power of the variable is a whole number, or according to the name of the polynomial itself, we can define it as combination of many terms, like a chain of terms linked together by addition or subtraction, but terms themselves contain multiplication, because we have already learned about terms, and terms contain two parts, that is variable part and a number part, and between the number part and the variable part there's a multiplication, that here it is mentioned, but terms themselves contain multiplication. Now we can take the example, like we have, this is a one term, number part and the variable part, plus again we have another term, number part and variable part, plus again we have another term, plus number and variable, that is one term. We can similarly we can write as many term as we can. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it can go on to infinite. So many terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and more than 2 are many. Therefore many terms are combined by addition or subtraction. Here we have addition, even we can add subtraction in between them. So that's what we call as polynomial. And one important point to remember is the power of the variable should be a whole number in a polynomial. While discussing about algebraic expression, it is not necessary that the power of the variable is a whole number or a natural number or anything else. But in case of polynomial, it is very important that the power of the variable should be a whole number. Okay, now we'll discuss polynomials in one variable. We know about variable, and now we know the meaning of the polynomial. Okay, let's take an example. For example, we have a square, and in square the length of each sides are equal, or 4 sides are equal. So we'll take here x unit, and x unit. So when we find the area of the square, we can write it as side into side, and here each side measures x units, so which is equal to x into x, and x into x is x square and x square. Now the variable is x only, and it is raised to the power of 2, and 2 is a whole number, therefore it is a polynomial. And again we can find the perimeter of the square and perimeter of the square is 4 times its side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, so 4 times side. which is equal to 4 into, and each side measures x unit. Therefore, we will get 4 into x. Again, 4x is a polynomial because power of the variable is whole number. X alone means it's raised to the power of 1. Okay, let's take another example. A circle. In this circle of center O, and its radius is y unit. Its radius is y unit. So when you find the area of the circle, and area of the circle is pi r square, and pi is a constant. Here r is the radius, which is equal to pi into r square means r into r, and each r measures y unit. So y into y, which is equal to pi y square. And here we have again one variable, that is y, and it is raised to the power 2, and 2 is a whole number. Therefore, it is a polynomial in one variable. Similarly, we can write the circumference of the circle. And circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, and 2 into pi into, here the radius of the given circle is y. So 2 pi y, and 2 and pi are the numbers and y is the variable, and this variable is raised to the power of 1, and 1 is a whole number. Therefore, this whole term is a polynomial and it is in one variable, that is only y. Similarly, you can find the polynomial expression for the cube. You can find the volume of the cube, total surface, and so on. You can take each, in the cube, each edge measures same. You can take z, 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 or any alphabet value. We'll move on to the next topic, that is example of polynomial in one variable. And now we know that one variable means it should have only one alphabet. Here I have list of examples. In first case, we have 4x square. Here we have only one variable, that is x. Again, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms, and the variable is only x, and all are raised to the power of whole number. Therefore, again, it is a polynomial in one variable. Poly means many, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 term over here. And in the next one is 3z raised to the power 4 plus 4z. Here the variable is only z and raised to the power 4, and this one is raised to the power of 1. Therefore, 1 and 4 both are whole number. Therefore, it is a polynomial and it is in one variable, that is z. Similarly, here 5y raised to the power 4 plus 2y square. Again, we have one variable, only y. It is a polynomial in one variable. And here we have polynomial in variable r. We have only one variable, that is r. Okay. Now we'll discuss polynomial in two variable, but this is just an introduction part, since we are going to learn only about the polynomial in one variable. But for the polynomial in two variable, it will be very useful while studying the algebraic identities. Now let's take the example rectangle, and to find the area and the circumference or the perimeter of the rectangle, we have length, which is equal to y unit, and the breadth, which is equal to x unit. So we'll find the area of the rectangle, and area of the rectangle formula is length into breadth, and here length is equal to y unit and breadth is equal to x unit. So instead of length, I'll write y, and instead of breadth, we'll write x. So y into x is xy or yx. So xy. Now this is a polynomial in two variable, because here we have 1 and 2 different alphabet. Therefore, it is a polynomial in two variable. Again, to find the perimeter of the rectangle, we'll write the formula first, that is 2 times length plus breadth. We have 2 length y and y, and 2 breadth, that is x and x. So you'll write 2 into, instead of length I'll write y, and instead of breadth we'll write x, which is, now 2 should multiply with both the terms y as well as x. So it can be written as 2y plus 2x, and y and x are two different alphabets, so it is called polynomial in two variable. Now let's take another example. Now this is a cuboid. Now this is a cuboid in which length is y unit and the breadth and the height are same, that is z unit and z unit. So to find the volume of the cuboid, now we'll find the volume of the cuboid. Volume of the cuboid is length into breadth into height. Now here length is y unit and breadth is z unit and height is again z unit. So y into z into z. So this is equal to y into z is z square. Again it is a polynomial in two variables, that is y and z. Similarly, we can find the total surface area of the cuboid, that is 2 times LB 2 times L into B plus B into H plus L into H, which is equal to 2 times, here we have length is y unit, breadth is z unit, plus breadth and height both are z unit and z unit, so z into z, plus L is length is y and height is again z. So we'll solve this equation, yz plus z square plus yz. So we'll multiply all the term inside the bracket by 2, so you'll get 2yz plus 2z square plus 2yz. Since yz we have same variable yz, so we can add these. That is 2 plus 2 is 4yz plus 2z square. Now we'll discuss the number of terms in a given polynomial. Since polynomial can have any number of terms, but there is a certain name given to the different polynomial according to the number of terms. So for example, we have 3x plus 2, 3x square plus 2x plus 1, and 3x cube plus 2x square plus x plus 1, 3x raised to the power 4 plus 2x cube plus x square plus 5x plus 1, and we can write any number of terms. You can write 3x power 5, so on, and then at the finally we can write x raised to the power n plus x raised to the power n. Similarly, it gets reduced and finally you get x plus x and plus 1 is a constant term. So in each case, now in the first case 3x, now this is only one term, so this is called monomial. One term, only one term is there, therefore it is called monomial. And in the second one there is a one term and the second term, therefore there is a two term, therefore it is called binomial. And in the third example we have 3x square plus 2x plus 1. We cannot simplify it further, therefore there is a three different term, 3x square plus 2x plus 1, therefore it is called trinomial. And in the fourth one there is 1, 2, 3 and 4 term, and it is called quadrinomial. And here we have many terms, so more than 5 term, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have any specific name, therefore we usually refer them as polynomials. Now all these are called polynomial, but for some there is a specific name, but remaining we can add any number of terms. If we have 1000 terms, then how will you name it? So we generally call them as polynomial. Now to remember this name, it's very easy to think of it as a we all know that now this is monocycle, because there's only one tire over here. This is a monocycle. So mono means one. So and nomial means term. So monomial means one term. This is a monocycle. And now if we take the example of a bicycle, bi means there is a two tire, therefore binomial. Bi means two, nomial means term, two terms. And again we have tricycle, which have three tire, 1, 2 and 3. It is called tricycle. So again here we can write trinomial. Tri means 3 and nomial means term. Trinomial, 3 terms are there. In quadrinomial we have 4 terms. And similarly, if you go on increasing the number of terms, then we generally call them as polynomials. Now here we'll discuss the degree of the polynomials. What is degree of the polynomials? Highest power of variable in the given polynomial is called its degree. So we'll take few examples. Now 3, only 3 is here. 3 can be written as 3 into x raised to the power of 0. X raised to the power of 0. Therefore, the highest power of the variable is 0 here. And such is called constant polynomial. And here, instead of 3, if we write a, then a should not be equal to 0. Now, the coefficient value should not be equal to 0 in this case. So here highest power of the variable is 0. Therefore, it is called constant polynomial. And we'll take the second example, that is 3x equal to 3 into x raised to the power 1. Now here the highest power of the variable is 1. Therefore, it is called linear polynomial. Linear, you can think of it as a line. L-I-N-E. There's a line here, isn't it? So you can think of it as a line. Linear polynomial. Now we have x squared plus x. X squared plus x can be written as x squared plus, here the power of the x is 1. So the highest power, 1 and 2. So 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, highest power is 2. Therefore, such polynomial is called quadratic polynomial. Or you can say a quadratic polynomial, or there is a 2 terms, therefore binomial quadratic polynomial. It is a binomial. If you name according to the number of terms, then it is a binomial. And if you name it according to the degree of the polynomial, then it is called quadratic polynomial. Similarly, if you write x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 2, it can be written as x cubed plus x squared plus x raised to the power 1. And with 2, here we have x raised to the power 0. Therefore, highest power is 3. So it is called cubic polynomial. And similarly, here we have x raised to the power 4 plus x squared plus x minus 5 equal to, it can be written as x power 4 plus x squared plus x power 1 minus 5 into x raised to the power 0, because any number raised to the power 0 is 1. Therefore, value of 2 does not change here. And here the highest power of the variable is 4. So such polynomial, will write it as a 4th degree polynomial. 4th degree polynomial. We'll write the highest power, 4th degree polynomial. And similarly, you can write any value in the power, that is, for example, x raised to the power 5 plus x equal to x raised to the power 5 plus x raised to the power 1. So here the highest power is 5. So you can name it as 5th degree polynomial. Similarly, you can take any value in the power, but make sure that the exponents are all whole number. It cannot be half, it cannot be negative, and it cannot be in decimal form. So we can write x raised to the power n plus 2 can be written as x raised to the power n plus 2. So highest power of the variable is n, whereas n is some number here, any whole number. So here you can name it as nth degree polynomial. Now if n is 100, then you can say 100 degree polynomial. If n is 99, then we can say 99th degree polynomial, and so on. So now till now we have learned about the polynomial on the basis of number of terms, and also we have discussed the degree of the polynomial. So we can classify the polynomial on the 2 bases, that is on the basis of number of the term and on the basis of degree of the term. On the basis of number of term, we have differentiated it as monomial, binomial, trinomial, quadrinomial, and polynomial. So if we have 6 term or 5 term or more than 3 term, then we call it as polynomials. And on the basis of degree of the polynomial, we have constant polynomial, linear polynomial, cubic polynomial, 4th degree polynomial, and nth degree polynomial. If the highest power of the variable in the given polynomial is 5, then we can say 5th degree polynomial, where n is any natural number. If n equal to 0, then it becomes constant polynomial here. So these are the classification of polynomial on the basis of number of terms and on the basis of degree of the polynomial. Now we are going to define the degree of zero polynomial. What is zero polynomial? For example, a 0. Now 0 can be written as 0 into x raised to the power 1. Again, it can be written as 0 into x raised to the power 2. Again, it can be written as 0 into x raised to the power 3. So on, 0 into x raised to the power 100. If you keep on increasing, then 0 into x raised to the power n. If you're increasing the power. Now, in each case, the value or the final answer will always give 0. So, for degree of 0, therefore we can say that degree of the zero polynomial is not defined, because it can take any value. Therefore, it is not defined. Now, we'll do some exercise. Which of the following expressions are polynomial in one variable and which are not? Well, here I've given few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 example over here. So, we'll discuss whether they are polynomial or not. Sorry, polynomial in one variable. Now, we have to look whether these are polynomial or not in the first case, and then we have to discuss whether they are the polynomial in one variable or not. Here we have to look for the two different cases. First, polynomial, and the second one is whether they are polynomial in one variable or not. Now let's see. 4x square minus 2x plus 1. So 4x square minus 2x raised to the power 1, and if 1 is a constant polynomial, so the power of the variable is 0. So in this, we'll see that the power of the variable, polynomial, in the polynomial we have mentioned that the power of the variable should be a whole number. So here we have variable x and power of each variable is whole number. 0 is a whole number, 1 is a whole number, 2 is a whole number. And we have only one variable, that is only x, x and x. Therefore, it is a polynomial in one variable. In the second example, we have z square plus square root of z. So z square plus, now square root of z can be written as z raised to the power 1 by 2. Now here we have one variable, that is only z, but the power of the variable z, in the first case is a whole number 2, but in the second case it is not a whole number. 1 by 2 is not a whole number. Therefore, z square plus square root of z is not a polynomial in one variable. Okay, now move on to the third one, that is square root of 3t raised to the power 5 minus t raised to the power 1. Now here we'll check the power of the variable, that is t raised to the power 5 is whole number and t raised to power 1 is again whole number. So the definition of polynomial is satisfied, and again here we have only one variable, that is t. Therefore it is a polynomial in one variable. In the fourth one we have 1 by r plus t, and we can write 1 by r as r raised to the power half, that we have learned in class 8 chapter the exponents and power. So r raised to the power minus 1 plus t raised to the power 1. Now here the power of the variable t is a whole number 1, but power of the variable r is not a whole number. Minus 1 is not a whole number. Therefore it is not a polynomial, and here we have two variables, so it is not a polynomial in one variable. In the last one we have 9 plus 3 by 4t, and 9 plus 3 by 4 t raised to the power 1 here. Therefore the power of the variable 1 is a whole number, and here we have only one variable, that is t. Therefore the given expression is a polynomial in one variable.